we will be crossing over to the Committee on Local Government Accounts. This is in which Kaoma Town Council will be responding to points of clarifications from the members. Kaoma did make their submission earlier on in the day. And with you this afternoon, my name is Taza Piri, and I'm joined by our sign language interpreters, Chola Kaoma and Jason Mande. Just now, we cross over to the committee.
Let's go to question. On living correction.
Recording in progress.
Yes, Honorable Mulunda.
Yes, sir. On the fees and charges, that is page 3. I mean page 3.
Yes.
The query was the under correction on plot-related fees and the delay in conclusion of replanning. I wanted to know, Chairperson, what the position is as of today in order to avoid this under correction on the rates.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. I can confirm that the cancellation and renumbering was done. We submitted that to Ministry of Lands, and a total of 472 properties were recommended for offer.
Can we have evidence?
Yes, Chair, we have the evidence.
Appendix.
You're sure it's 8? On appendix number 5.
Let's go to appendix 5.
So this is a minute extract, and Ministry of Lands stamped as having received the document on the 24th of February 2024.
Follow-up question?
Yes, thank you, Chair. From these, Council Secretary, how much do you wish to raise out of these, the plots that you have submitted or approved?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. So the fees are 4,000 per plot. That is the service charge. So by 427, that gives us 1,708,000. So that is what we are yet to receive. Thank you.
Another question? Page 13, yes. Honorable members, page 13. Unsupported payments. 14 transactions were picked as unsupported payments to the tune of 76,852. You have referred it to us to Appendix 12. Why didn't you show the auditors these receipts and other supporting documents during the time of audit? How authentic is your payment voucher number 1? When you can see on top there, you had to cover something to erase or to obscure what was there area. Why didn't you attach the receipts when auditors came to your council?
Thank you, Chair. According to the records, it's issues of misfiling of documentation, but for issues of authenticity, I'll allow my Director of Finance to come in.
Chair, the document is very genuine, because if you check this document, even external auditors actually audited these documents. I'm sure you can see the green pen there. That's a pen which is coming from Auditor General. So the documents are very genuine.
Why didn't you show the external auditors when they visited your council these authentic documents? The whole 2023, these documents were not found. Only when you are coming here, that's when you say these documents have been found.
There are quite a number of reasons why sometimes maybe documents are misfound. Some of the reasons is that the receipts, maybe the people who receive the receipts did not avail those receipts to the accounts department. So when the external auditors came and then audited, unfortunately, we tried to look for the receipts. Unfortunately, they were not found. Then maybe the other one is with regards to attendance list, which was kept maybe by another department. So at the time when they were auditing, we tried to look for the attendance list, but unfortunately, it was not found. So after they left, we started looking for those documents, and then the documents fortunately were found. Then for the receipts, we had to consult the suppliers to assist us with the receipts. So those are the receipts that we've actually attached.
A follow-up question from Honorable Mulun.
Your responses, DF, are too general. Because I think the question is, why couldn't you produce these same documents? Now you are saying others, maybe they are filed in another office. Maybe the receipt, you have to ask the suppliers. How is your filing system?
With regards to the filing system, what we do is when a payment is actually done, we file the payment voucher. At that point in time, the receipt has not yet come to the council. So after the payment is done, then we have to request for a receipt from the supplier. So when the receipt comes, it comes with the goods as they are being delivered. It goes to the store's office. Then the store's office will...
I'm not trying to find out what the process. Me, I'm saying after that, all that is done, how do you file your documents? After the supplier, stores, and everyone, how do you keep your documents?
The documents are kept in one box file.
Oh, there's a hand from the Vice Chair.
Thank you so much, Chair. The documents are kept in one box file. So, after this query, the next query is missing payment vouchers that are filed in one box file. Now that you filed them in one box file, why didn't you produce these payment vouchers when the auditors came on page 14?
Sometimes what happens, misfiling, because we've got about 10 accounts. So for example, if we have administration account, we have service charge account, we have our district fund account. So sometimes the person who is filing those documents may file them in a different box file. So at the time external auditors are coming to look for those documents, it becomes very difficult for us to find those documents because they are filed in a different account. So this is one of the reasons why those documents were misfiled or missing. Then the other reason, it could be there are times when maybe the documents are needed by another department. So maybe at that time we don't have power, so it's not possible for us to photocopy the payment voucher. So what we do, we just give them the original document. So the person maybe forgets to bring it back to the accounts, and even us, we forget to ask for it. So that will remain as a missing payment voucher.
DF, you even say you forget to ask for it. Okay.
Sure. DF, help us. We are not putting you in a dock. Just relax. You can't tell your committee or honorable committee that person forgets, and you can even also forget. That's what I say. There's somebody that is trained to do that. You are DF. All the financial matters. Can you have the drawings from the engineering department in your office like that, just like that? No. Things, you have qualified personnel. There is somebody who takes care of all those documents. If it's to do with finance, they'll bring it to you. Say, no, it should be in that file. That one should be in that. Now, what are we going to do in a situation where you, DF, forgot to ask for that receipt? And that one who was supposed to file forgot. Maybe we don't even know where it is. Maybe somebody left it in the car. You see, there is a system. So, just give us the facts, because even when you say if somebody forgot, because the auditors, external auditors, they don't stay for 1 or 2 days. They are with you for some time. But from your responses, we hear documents are not in one place. Sometimes they will be found somewhere. Now we have even a new version where you can forget yourself and the other one forget. So I think systematically just tell us these documents are supposed to be, and stuff like that.
Vice Chair, before you respond, Vice Chair.
Yes, and I think the trend for documents, DF, if, for example, I need a voucher for a certain contract, do I just come to your office and pick it, or there's a book where I log in to say I've picked this document, and when it comes, whoever is taking it, when bringing back, they need to log in? Or you just give it just like that?
DF.
When a person is getting a document from accounts department, just like you have explained, that's what we do. There's a book where we record who collects it, the date when he's collecting the document, and when the document comes back, we also record the date when the document was brought back. So that's what we actually do. So
how do you reconcile with the area statement? If this is a case, how do you reconcile that you forgot, and the person who's for keeping the documents also forgot? There is this situation where you forget, and the auditors come to your office for 2 weeks or a month, you forget where they are. If you are now saying that you have a book where you track the accountable documents, whoever has taken the documents, how do you forget? Yes, dear.
Okay. The first statement, I was trying to explain what can cause the missing payment voucher to go missing. I explained 2 issues. Number 1,
we are specific about these documents. Not you want to explain a scenario how documents can go missing. We are asking you specific questions, responding to the queries. We were not there. Auditors came. You failed to show them these documents. Now they have resurfaced. And that is a trend that is taking place in council. So we want to establish, help us, what happened in these particular transactions, or maybe query. TF.
Yes, Honorable. Okay, because we are human beings, sometimes we forget because of...
We are dealing with human beings, you are aware.
Sure.
Don't say that. I respond, what happened? We know you are human beings.
Yes, Chair. What happened is the documents, the time maybe the documents were collected, we forgot to record them in the book. So no wonder they were recorded as missing payment vouchers.
You see, what happened? Were you the DF during this time? Were you there?
During this time, unfortunately, I wasn't there.
But you perpetual succession, you should find out what happened. These queries, especially this query, is common. And we are wondering what type of professionals who can neglect their duty. Accountable documents that are, pointing to resources are the documents that disappear and resurface after, when you know that you are coming to this place, whether those things that you bring are manufactured. So, where is the internal audit? Do you have an internal auditor here?
Yes, we do, Chair.
CS, sorry, we want to interrogate individuals who are there. You were there, internal auditor.
At this point of time, Chair, I wasn't there too.
So all of you were not there. Are you the one who brought these documents? When you are picking them, CS, where did you find them?
With Finance Department.
They were suddenly found.
Chair, I think the situation is regrettable, and we will put proper systems in place so that we avoid a repetition of this that happened. We are going to improve our operations.
When you look at the payment voucher number 1, let's look at number 1. It's appendix, this one. The quotation was obtained from Canala. The receipts came from different companies. Namula General Dealers and the Able Hand General Dealers. The quotation was obtained from Canala General Dealers. How do you explain this? DF. Appendix 12.
Appendix 12, those are 3 quotations which we get before we process a payment.
So these were quotations, all of them?
Yes, Chair.
Which are the receipts for the 4,425? DF.
The receipt is where they've put the check number 1450, which is on just after the payment voucher, the next page.
DF, as you speak, we are live on TV and radio, so speak up. The people of Zambia want to see or to hear what you are telling. Take us to the document, the receipt from the companies where you procured from. I can't see one.
The receipt is the last page, before page 3.
Able Hand. You procured from Able Hand. This is the receipt. On a Kaoma, it's a LPO. You can pass a receipt to us, we see. Because what we are seeing here is an LPO, a purchase order, dated 20th November 2023.
Apologies, Chair. The receipt, unfortunately, it's not attached.
What are you apologizing for?
For not having attached the receipt to this payment voucher.
What was your submission when you're doing the report that you have since found the documents?
Yes, Chair, that was our report.
So what has changed?
Maybe allow me to check in the box file that we've come with. I'm sure maybe the receipt could be there. I'm kindly asking if you could allow
Vice
me
Chair,
to check.
just on.
The chair earlier asked that you got a quotation from Namula General Dealers and Kanala General Dealers, but you went to purchase from Able Hand General Dealers. Can you guide the committee as to where the quotation from Able Hand General Dealers is?
The quotation for Able Hands. Vice.
The quotation for Able Hand is the second page after the payment voucher. So what was paid for are those things that we've actually ticked. So when you add these 6 items, they are totaling to this amount which is on the payment voucher, which is 4,425 kwacha.
So, a follow-up from the Vice.
Kindly show us where it's saying quotation, sir.
Sorry, Chair, it was a quotation, but they cancelled it as an invoice.
Don't mislead yourself. We all have eyes here. A quotation can never be an invoice. A quotation is printed as a quotation. In my other life, I used to be a printer. I used to print the quotation, invoice book, receipt, GRN. Those are pairs. They go hand in hand. So where is the quotation? That is what the question that the chair asked you. This one came quotation, then you decided to cancel it, you write invoice to mislead.
Even when you look at the same now invoice, the items that you ticked, the total amount on that particular document, why didn't you cancel it or amend the document to read the 4,120? In short, DF CS and the team, on this particular transaction, do not appear to these committees by a way of just coming here to apologize and just by the way of answering. We just have to find an answer to this. The interest of this committee and the interest of the nation is to see whether you are following financial regulations. In this particular case, you are not following financial regulations. And this is what happens when you just doctor documents for the sake of let us do this. You want to challenge auditors who found and supported the documents. Then we say, no, let's now, we have found them. Let's make quotations and whatever. And some of these companies, unfortunately, when you look at down what is happening even there in Kaoma, some of these companies may not be existing. We're not saying that's the case, but that's what the councils are doing. And you'll be moving from one council to another. You do the same things. Because with your qualifications and the objective of government to place you in those positions is to do correct things. So you are merely sitting down and saying, well, how do you respond to this? You are investing more in how to respond and not how to minimize or mitigate these things. Earlier on, the DFO was saying, no, I forgot, maybe the documents could have been somewhere, and the one keeping them forgets. You don't take the audit process serious. And if this is not dealt with, and we are going to be very emphatic with your employers on Monday, without favoritism, we must guard these resources jealously. Any resource that comes in your possession is a public resource for the good people of Kaoma and Mangango. Not this style that you have in local authorities. We shall help you to reform. I hope you are moving with us. Those who are found wanting, we shall make recommendations without fear. Because this cannot continue. So we go to another query. Vice Chair, you have one? Let's have Dr. Mwanza. Your mic, Vice. Vice Chair. Dr. Mwanza?
Page 12. Council plan to implement 11 projects at a cost of 2,245,000 kwacha, but they only managed to implement 6, leaving 5 projects not done at a cost of 1,270,000 kwacha. So the 5 projects that were not done are on page 12, and this is the total budget, 1,270,000 to implement these projects. Of among the 5 projects, the money that was reserved to cover the cost for these projects is 1,270,000. However, council borrowed 636,143 to be used on to meet operation costs, and yeah. So the first question is this project number 3 on the table on page 12, construction of guest rooms at CGC. Is it construction of guest room houses, or it is construction of a perimeter wall? Because the description inside is describing something else, but the table shows that it is construction of guest rooms at CGC. How do you explain this?
Thank you, Chair. The scope of works talked about both construction of guest rooms at the facility as well as a boundary fence. But then allow me to call upon the Senior Health Inspector for institutional memory so that you could shed more light.
Thank you, Chair. As already highlighted by the CS, of course the project reads construction of guest rooms at CGC, but when you look at the actual scope of work, it actually includes the offense as well as the guest rooms, because one of the biggest challenges was security. Thank you, Chair.
For just clarification, CGC is what? Is it a council guest house?
It's a tracking bay, Chair, for the council.
It's a tracking bay for the council?
Yes, please.
Okay. Follow-up question?
This contract was awarded to Ngelechi Company, and
Doc,
it was
Doc, try to be near your mic.
It was terminated. You terminated the contract, and you have now re-advertised. I followed the communication between the client and the contractor, letter of termination, and also demand notice to ask the contractor to pay back the advance payment and also liquidated damages. I want to know what is the latest position and what was the final settlement method that you settled for, because the consequent letters are not giving a conclusive idea on what was the final solution, because the contractor asked the council to say, yes, I should pay this 140,000, but I don't have the money now. I have money in other projects. So those other projects that you, the council, you are the client, you should deduct that money which you council failed to pay me. So I don't know what is the final decision. And also when you borrowed 636,143, which projects were affected by your decision to borrow these monies? And also have you paid back, because this is a capital fund, have you paid back to the capital fund so that these important projects can be executed?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I'll begin with the last question. Have we paid back? The answer is no. We haven't paid back the 636,000 borrowed. What is the final decision with regards to the contractor who disappeared with the 100,000? Apart from the correspondences that we have attached, we have not moved. This issue is yet to be reported to the procurement committee. If I can draw your attention to Appendix 9. Anyhow, I can't trace the correspondence, but we have received a legal team. The Local Government Service Commission have employed legal personnel, and we have handed over all these cases because we have they are quite prevalent in Kaoma. So this one being one of them, we abandoned the project, left with 100,000. So this issue is being handled by the legal team. As to whether we have moved an inch, the answer is no, we haven't, because we are yet to sit as procurement. The other question was the projects, Chair, that were affected by this borrowing was construction of a revenue office at 90,000. The construction of a guest rooms at CGC, of course, that 900,000. as well as item number 4, which is more tractor propelled. Those are the projects that were affected, but I also allowed Director Engineering to just shed more light on all these 3 questions, because he's been in Kauma the last 4 years.
Okay, you can help.
Thank you, Chair. I will start by saying that the contractor wrote that letter to say we have to recover the 100,000 from the 2 projects. Unfortunately, these are 2 projects in question. They are still under the defect liability period. One is in Mangango and one is in Kauma Central. I thank you.
Yes, Doc.
Looking at the correspondence, like this later termination of contract for the construction of a perimeter wall fence at CGC. It's just from the letters that I can estimate the scope of work. There's no any description of the scope of work, because on page 12 it shows the project title is construction of guest rooms at CGC, but the correspondence is talking of perimeter wall fence. So then in your explanation, you said that there was some scope of work involving some guest rooms. How can we believe that? Where is the evidence to show the scope of work involved? What was done to the guest rooms? Because this project is only addressing the warfares only. It shows that the guest rooms have been in operation, but just needed a perimeter warfares. So you show us the scope of work. Then the second one is this letter, Kauma Town Council writing to the contractor. The contractor is called Ngelechi Company Limited, right? Then on the same appendix 9, you attached the bid evaluation reports for the contractors that participated on this particular bid for the construction of a wall fence at CGC. This contractor, Ngelechi, was not among the contractors that submitted the bid for this particular project. How did he win the contract when he never submitted his bid?
CS.
Thank you, Chair. I'll call upon Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. Ngelechi was the first contractor that was contracted to do the wall fence. This other information, which is showing 3 contractors, where Ngelechi is not amongst them. This was the second time where we were advertising the wall fence. Thank you.
Doc, this is an advertisement. This is an evaluation report of contractors that participated. I mean, let's go to appendix 9. Go to page 6 of 12. Page 6 of 12. So we have an introduction that the Director of Engineering is seeking authority to award the contract for construction of perimeter wall fence at CGC. And 3 contractors submitted their bids, namely Belt IT Africa Contractors, Kukeha Investments Limited, and Waiting Innovation Limited. Yeah, so this is an evaluation report, apparently. It's not an advertisement. And even in your description of this project, you said that you terminated the contract. After terminating the contract, you have since then advertised for contract award. So where does Ngelechi come in when he was not part of these contractors that is participated in this particular project?
Thank you, Chair. On page 12 of the report, we have indicated that this contract has been re-advertised and its award is at award stage. So when we get to page number 14 of that reference, this is the new procurement, Chair, that is being referred to on page 12 of the report. So those are the contractors that bidded to put up a perimeter fence at CGC. So Ngelechi at this stage is not in the picture because he ran away.
Maybe you can exculpate yourself. You could have exculpated yourself by at least putting the date of this evaluation report, or even attaching the bid document and the advertisement, or maybe attaching an advertisement, because this is addressing the same scope of work that Ngelechi did. Okay, explain on the scope of work. Where is the evidence that this project also involved rehabilitation of guest rooms?
Thank you, Chair. On the scope of works, Director Engineering will take it up, but over the issue of the date, on page 14, just below that list of contractors, there is a statement reading, at the time of tender closing on 15th of November 2024, bids in sealed envelopes were received. So the Ngelechi incident happened over a year ago, and these are the new tenders. Thank you.
Okay, a different question? A follow-up. Okay, follow-up. Before you answer the scope, then let's ask the...
Yeah, for me, Chair, I'm interested in the money that was borrowed for salaries, because there's a tendency, and there was, now that we amended the law on the 20% equalization fund, there was a tendency to borrow this money that affected service delivery. And in this case, you've submitted that construction of revenue office was not done. Construction of guest rooms at CGC was affected, and the more tractor propelled was not bought because you took the money towards paying your salaries. When are you paying this money? You've said you have not repaid. When are you paying, and where is the commitment? Where is the commitment to pay back this money? Because at the time you borrowed, the law was in effect that when you borrow, you have to pay back the money. So when are you paying?
Chair, unfortunately, it's not part of this year's budget. However, we have just not remained mute. We have a number of investment programs that we are still doing feasibility studies for. So as soon as we are done, and as soon as the budget cycle in October begins for the year 2026, that certainly will be included. We have a farm 20 kilometers away from CBD in Kashamu area, and we are planning on investing in fish farming. So, like I've indicated, feasibility studies right now are ongoing. As soon as we approach the budget cycle, that will be done, and we believe we'll be able to inject that money that we realize from that project.
Yeah, besides, just to also inquire, just like the other members have inquired, I hear you have visited bus station that is doing very well. Is it market or bus station? It is doing very well, but you have listed. Who is running it? Is it a bus station or something like that? Ablution block. Very busy at the bus station. I hear you have listed. Is it true?
Thank you, Chair. May I call upon the Senior Health Inspector to respond on that one?
Thank you, Chair. The ablution block in question is not really leased. This is a private ablution constructed at a bus station run by a private entity.
It's not a council ablution?
No, sir.
So you have seen that there is potential for resources there?
Yes.
What is the council doing not to put up with council? Because you are mandated by law to provide services, and such services are one of the functions of the councils, markets, ablution blocks, to make people easy themselves easily and facilitate for people, and you draw a small amount. Don't you think you have seen how a private person is doing this? What are you doing to get money to ensure that we broaden our tax base? Director, Health.
Thank you, Chair, for that promotion. Chair, just next to this bus station in question, there is also another bus station to Kalumwange, where actually in collaboration with Western Water, there is an ablution block that we are doing there, so that we will be able to favorably compete with that private entity. I thank you, Chair.
You don't need to collaborate with anyone. By law, you are the government in Kaoma. You have seen, you cannot have a bus station which has no ablution block. By law, you are mandated to have that. Why have you taken time? Then you are looking at land, whatever, when you have the gold mine that can earn you resources. Then you are saying you want to collaborate with others. Why can't you construct? It's by law that you cannot have a bus station without the provision of ablution block for people. Why are you neglecting your duty? CS.
Indeed, Chair, you are correct. That's one of the programs that we are putting in place this year, even as we plan for the 2026 budget.
2026
because
budget?
Definitely that is our core mandate, but then we need to budget for that.
Vice Chair, you're itching to ask.
I'm just, it's about the lack of commitment, Chair. You see, we are in a new year, and someone, you ask a question, they are telling you 2026. Lack of commitment whatsoever. How much are you getting from this ablution block as a council? Because you are mandated to run the bus station yourselves, and then you allow a private individual to go and build an ablution block. I've noted that Kaoma, where you are supposed to get money, like the revenue office, you neglected to do it. To finish the guest houses, where it's supposed to give you money, you neglected to do it. Now you have an ablution block for a busy bus station. You have allowed somebody else to do it. How much are you getting from there as a local authority?
Yes.
Maybe before the Senior Health Inspector comes in, Chair, I will respond on the bus station. 600,000 is the cost of an ablution block, so that is why I said we're looking into 2026, even as we look at projects that are going to be undertaken in the district.
You see, yes, why we're asking all this. You are struggling to get resources, thereby you're not providing any meaningful service. As the reason why you were created as Kaoma, you are not doing that. You are just depending on the government. When you have the potential areas where you can maximize, all these years, 2023, 2024, 2025, now you are telling this committee that no, 600,000. Have you made proposals, or have you invited proposals from WDC so that under even CDF you can have that? Because it's a core function of the council. Why are you neglecting to do this? Meanwhile, it's supposed to earn you an income. Why are you not doing this? An ablution block it's mandatory for you as a council. Whether someone is running private, that person can manipulate people, can inflate, the people will not manage, then you know that is a chaos that will be there. But the council, when it's a council thing, you are regulated. It's a service. And that's why you are created. Why are you not taking interest into this? You are struggling to raise revenue. So you are telling us 2026 because you want to answer, then go back and do business as usual. The next time all of you transfer to another council, your friends will come. No, I see, we found this, it will be now 1 million. We can't find this. 2027 and 2028, another transfer. Are you helping the people of Kaoma? Are you the people to change the scenario of Kaoma to show that there's good government, good management of the council? Yes.
Chair, I can assure you that we are resolved to change the status quo. But let me call upon the Director of Health to add on.
There was a question how much you are making. Are you getting anything from this abortion block, a private abortion block? What is the agreement? Are you making any money from there?
Chair, this abortion block was constructed by this private individual, of course at the bus station, and the only money that we get from them is money that has to do with the business levies and other business associated charges.
And you are the council who gave the plot?
Unfortunately so, Chair.
Vice Chair.
I want to know from the CS, in Mandevo, we receive CDF funds to build things like toilets. We built one, I think, at 800,000. I built one at Mandevo Children's Clinic. Have you ever heard of CDF, Constituency Development Fund, Madam? You are telling this committee that the toilet, to build the toilet is very expensive, 600,000 kwacha. Have you ever heard of Constituency Development Fund?
Yes. Have you ever heard about CDF?
Thank you, Chair. They enhanced the CDF actually. Unfortunately, the projects have already been approved for 2025. So that is why I talked about 2026 using council resources. But we'll definitely engage our honorable members of parliament. We have 2 constituencies in Kaoma. So definitely we will engage them. This is a good
Are you going to find a plot there? Since you are the one who said, us, even if it's our core function, we don't want to run the ablution, we want a private person build there. Do you have any space there at the same bus station?
Chair, we have 2 plots that are incomplete within the bus station, so definitely we'll look into
Fire station or bus station?
the bus station.
I hope you are not responding for the purpose of just answering. We shall visit Kaoma. We are going to see. This is a core function of the council. Those who neglected to do the correct thing are not fit to be in local government. You cannot subcontract, give away what you are supposed to do, then give it to the private. They are making money. Apart from money, they may exploit the people. But you as a council are doing it as a service to the people, earning some income that can help improve your revenue base to provide the much needed services and unpaid staff obligations and statutory obligations. Know why you are existing as a council. The moment you know, then all these things will not be an issue. I have a question before Doc comes in. On page 14. Page 14 is about missing payment vouchers and irregular cash payments. Or a follow-up on the... Note that. Let's have a follow-up on the bus station.
Please, on page 12, on the same projects. Page 12 is saying, in addition, an amount of 144,905 was varied from the rehabilitation of staff house, because there's a staff house that was supposed to be rehabilitated according to the list of projects. So you varied these funds towards the rehabilitation of the bus station, which you're paving. And My only point which I need you to clarify is where is the authority to vary funds from rehabilitation of a council staff house towards the rehabilitation of the bus station? And you haven't answered also the scope of work on the CGC parameter fence or guest house. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The only evidence we have is minutes that have been attached on appendix number 9. So appendix number 9. Those are the minutes of
We have agreed to vary funds from staff house to rehabilitation of a bus station as a procurement committee, the same committee that sat to plan for these projects. Now you're supposed to go back and seek authority to vary the funds that were earmarked for that staff house to rehabilitation of guest house, bus station.
Chair, unfortunately, the only evidence we have as at now is the same appendix 9 where there are minutes of the council. That is all we have.
The sentence in these minutes. Which minute? Minute number what?
Appendix 9?
On appendix number 9.
Let's go to appendix 9 and read us to the same sentence.
Thank you, Chair. I will request DF to take us through.
DF?
Unfortunately, when we're scanning the documents, the other page was not scanned, but it's in the box file that has been submitted to the committee.
You see, we told you not to cheat this committee. We have a problem with you, councils. You are not taking this committee serious. You are not taking us serious. This has just become routine and a way of getting allowances for yourselves. Whatever document you can pick, you forget, you don't care. But us, we are a serious committee. On behalf of the Zambian people, we are a serious committee constituted by Madam Speaker to ensure that we minimize on these audit queries. We safeguard the resources. Now you councils, you are not taking us serious. Why do you want to mislead this committee? Why are you misleading this committee? You manufacture minutes on your own. You forget to insert the most crucial. These are manufactured minutes. Extracts of the minutes. DF.
Maybe before DF comes in, Chair, at the beginning of my submission, I did seek the indulgence of the committee that we make additions. We had come with documents, separate documents.
Sure.
And I mentioned 1, 3, 9 was one of the appendices that we needed to attach.
Sure.
And it's circulating.
Refer to it. You sit down. I haven't asked you to stand up. The tradition is that when you are making these documents, you should make adequate copies, even for yourselves. You see, CS, we are a serious committee. When we sit here, our friends have knocked off. We mean business to this nation. Here we are not just passing. We are doing proper scrutiny to ensure that whatever is been exposed by AG's office, we seek answers from you. Now, as we are looking at that minute, Let me take you to page 14 first. They will respond together. Scope of work, take note. I will not ask a question. I will ask general, because these are the same unsupported documents. And here we have, the people of Kaoma should know that by the time auditors were visiting, they were page 14, irregular cash withdrawals. They were missing payment vouchers. Why is it that at the time of audit, these documents were missing? Immediately you are coming here, they resurface. There's one transaction where a memo was done after payments. As you are sitting, manufacturing this evidence, be careful the dates. So, can you respond to what Doc asked about the scope of work? The minute is there? Okay. So, CS, missing receipt, payment vouchers, irregular cash withdrawals, irregular internal auditor, DF, and all members who are part of the signing panel. Why should we continue to have these problems? CS, how do you explain that? Give the DF to open it for us. CS is also checking.
There is absolutely nothing, Chair, that can justify irregular payments, apart from the earlier submission I made to say we will improve our operations. We'll ensure that we put proper systems in place so that we avoid such issues going forward.
Imagine you are standing before all the Zambians and they are asking you that, why are you doing this contrary to the regulations? You tell the Zambian people that we shall put systems in place. Are you telling the Zambian people, the people of Kaoma, that there are no systems in Kaoma Council, at Kaoma Council? You want to put them now, put them in place now.
Thank you, Chair. Of course, systems are there, but proper systems to avoid a repeat of such. I think DF has found the document.
No, let us deal with this first. The documents, we shall speak to them. And when we find it, pass it on. So, let us deal with the issue of CS. You are standing before all the Zambians, the government that has put you in office. Systems are there. The issue is the failure to follow systems. What would you tell the Zambian people on behalf of your council?
That it is regrettable, and this is very wrong, and we shall ensure that we do the correct thing going forward. Because there's no amount of words can justify the wrong. So a wrong is a wrong, so ensure that we do correct things going forward.
Is the DF also new, like you?
Chair, I'm 40 days old. DF is 5 months old. Thank you.
Local government, I think going forward, we want to deal with the officers who did these things. So I think there was a council that brought the transferred town clerk and the new town clerk, so that we give a proper reprimand to the people who were doing wrong things. Because to get these comforts and not understand why these things happen, I think is not doing us good right now, because we're asking these questions to a new team. Of course, there is perpetual succession, but it's very cardinal that we have an interaction with the people who are in office to come and present these documents. I know this, we are almost at the end of our session, but for CDF, we want to deal with the actual town clerks and officers who misconducted themselves, so that they answer and tell us why they neglected to follow the laid down procedure.
Correct.
Yeah, because as you can see, she's belaboring to answer, but indirectly she's trying to say that it's not me who did this, and we're able to pick it. I submit, Chair.
Your words are our words as a committee. I think that's a position, but we shall take note of you, because when it comes to CDF, we shall be more tough. 5 point something million, is it billion, put in CDF. We want to see the proper use, even these resources. You are just coming from Kalomo, you are coming from, so you leave a skeleton here, you leave there, you go like that. So now, as your employers are coming, we are taking note. And what will happen during CDF or the coming operations accounts in 2026, we are not going to allow. As you come, prepare. If you have been transferred from somewhere, we find an issue which are chess, you come as a team, make recommendations for your demotion. Because this is a business that is there. Systems are put there by government. The local government ministry has put systems. The commission has put systems. You just follow them. You cannot tell the Zambian people that no, we shall put systems. Systems are already there. But it's the people who are in these positions who are doing wrong things. For instance, I want to give you a question that was irregular payment of allowances to retirees. You refer to a circular. That circular you are referring to doesn't mean that you should pay. I want you to know. We want to be kind, but we want to be sincere with you. That query, you always refer to the circular given by the commission. Is it a commission? That circular does not allow you pay education allowance to a retiree. You pay transport or fuel to someone who is retired. That you pay any other allowances other than the housing allowance and the basic and allowance. It stipulates the allowances that are supposed to be paid. The rest you follow the cabinet circular that guides. That's why it is being picked as a query. You cannot pay someone who is retired fuel allowance, because when he was in the office he was getting fuel allowance. Is that what it says? So when you are responding, you are just responding for the purpose of answering, or how do we duck? So it's an issue of ducking, not as an issue of resolving things. That's why we spoke against Charimbana sessions. Because there you are going to be tutored, how do you respond? It is not that. Look at the way the government is struggling to get resources. We should ensure that these resources are used prudently. This is our country. But if you are going to mismanage things, then you go and be tutored, or you go say, no, how do we respond? That will not be allowed. So what the Vice Chair has indicated, that is the position. Coming the CDF, we are not going to allow. Prepare to report even from where you messed up things, whichever council. We want to account for the monies. So you'll be recorded. And when we see that it's becoming also a cash cow, we shall recommend at your own expenses, because we want to bring sanity. At your own expenses you appear. A failure to which, recommendation for what? You cannot have been having same people missing payment vouchers. The vouchers were not found. Unsupported documents, receipts missing. Now they are found 100 receipts. All these things are happening in councils. We are not going to allow that. So, with that said, I'll conclude, but before I conclude, I'll ask you to respond I'll ask the Vice Chair to ask a question, then respond to Dr. Mwanza's concerns. Then I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, my last question, I think she can just answer yes or no, and we'll leave it there. on page 17, poor management of waste, you have submitted to the committee that you have completed the fence at the dump site. The picture that you've attached on the appendix is just showing a small component of the dump site. I just want your confirmation to the people of Kaoma that you've fenced the whole dump site. Is that the position? Yes or no, Chair?
Thank you, Chair. That is the true position. The entire dump site is fenced.
Correct. Dr. Mwanza's concern, you found the minute now.
Yes, Chair, we found an extract of minutes from the for Finance, Human Resource and General Purposes Committee meeting held in October of 2023. So this is all we have as evidence. No procurement minutes, no ministerial approval. This is all we have for a budget environment on the...
So there were no ministerial approvals?
No, Chair.
No procurement?
No.
Ask the question about the scope doc.
The question, supposed to, the project which is described here is showing construction of guest rooms at CGC. Then inside, as they're explaining the financials, they're addressing a perimeter wall fence, not the guest rooms. They're addressing the perimeter wall fence. Even the communication to the contractor, the title is construction of perimeter wall fence around not the guest rooms. Yes, so we want them to give evidence as to
the queries on the guest rooms.
Yes. So the scope of work that Ngelechi did and paid for is involving, is it just a wall fence or it was combined? Because the CS said it is combined, the guest room as well as the wall fence. But why are you addressing the project as the construction of guest rooms?
Did Ngelechi do also the guest rooms?
It should be simple, easy. Just give us the contract, the BOQ, then we know.
Do you have the BOQ?
Chair, we have not attached the scope of works, but for Ngelechi was only contracted to construct the wall fence. There were no guest rooms for Ngelechi's.
You have changed.
Chair, for the other one, which is talking about the wall fence and the guest rooms, it's a different project. For the wall fence, yes, there's a contractor, the one which was run on the evaluation report, which is Beltway Africa.
Who did the guest rooms and the wall fence? You're saying the one which is talking about the guest room and wall fence is a different thing. Which is that? Now this one, the one which talks about the wall fence is given to Ngelechi. How many wall fences are supposed to be?
Chair, it's supposed to be just one wall fence. The first wall fence, which Ngelechi failed to do, of which it was advertised and given to another contractor. So the very contractor is not the person to do the guest rooms.
Were the guest rooms done?
No, they haven't been done, Chair.
But is it part of the monies that were paid? Was it paid for?
No, it's a different thing.
You have a follow-up question? No follow-up question. Yeah, we have a challenge that we have established and coordinated responses, which is very dangerous, and we know we don't want to evoke the Cap 12, which we can easily do. We want to warn you that please, as you come here, can you rehearse on how you are going to approach each and every query. Mind that we are very particular. We follow each and every query religiously. Why? That's our mandate within the terms of reference, to ensure that we bring to a stop these leakages of resources. know that, and through you to all the councils, we are going to help government to bring order. Those who indulge in illicit use of resources without following guidelines, we shall expose them. These jobs that we have, we are just privileged. We are not the best, even ourselves. So when we sit here, we must show seriousness. So you officers, the business as usual way of doing things. And I want to appeal to you, internal audit, procurement. Ensure that you help your country. Just understand your positions. Why? Advise correctly. Do not just say because it has come from the CS, it has come from the DF. Follow the guidelines. Follow the regulations. And DF, for you are pending your signature. I've seen your payment vouchers. Is it by style that all the vouchers have a provision for a date, voucher number? You don't put them, especially these that are found after audit. Those which are there, you are paying, you have to put a date there on top. But all the payment vouchers that are manufactured do not have a date on top. So remove that if you don't need the space for the date. But there's a reason why such provisions are made. Anyone who receives must acquit for the receipt of the monies from the council. So, internal auditor, take note of that. Take note of that. From here, ensure that all the spaces that are provided in the payment vouchers are filled, even the acquittals. The contractors or the suppliers, you know them. Call them to come and sign for the spaces. No more missing payment vouchers, DF. So, with all that said, I want to say, CS, can you settle down? We shall be as strict as we have been. Why? We are constituted to ensure that we manage the issues that are taking place in local authorities. The public there, the perception of councils is not good. If you don't hear this, take it from us. The public perception. That's why they are even reluctant to pay taxes to the councils, because they know, they are watching that these monies are not being accounted for. How do you force them to pay? Do you think they can pay? And yet you'll be crying to say, no, the ratepayers are not paying. People are not paying to the council. If the people of Kaoma are guaranteed that the monies they are paying will come back to them through a service and the monies is accounted for, imagine CS will be the first one to have a zero audit for Kaoma. That's the basis for promotion. Imagine DF, zero audit. The audits which should be there is statutory obligations. We've come out a plan, but not missing payment, vouchers and supported payments. Then you have officers there at Kaoma who are paid by government for ensuring that they file the documents, accountable documents, they're put in a lockable locker. Simple things. But because it's business as usual, when we appear, one procurement officer, auditor said, no, we are busy to prepare to come and answer. The whole year we are preparing for audit responses. They enjoy. So, immunity withdrawn. You go back and put your house in order. This is a very bad report. Make sure you address these issues. But our position is as stated by the Vice Chair, that now you see how if you have created problems in 3 councils, you'll be appearing 3 or 4 times. From this council where you passed, because we don't want to know I'm a new person. That one will not be the case. You'll be coming here. And the 3rd, 4th time at your own expense. Well, we are just short of telling the commission, why do you even promote this officer? Why do you deserve to be promoted with these things? So we are short of that because of the terms of reference. but we share influence. So with that said, as you go back, you are on your own. Immunity withdrawn. We wish you well. Go and put your house in order. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
That was Kauma Town Council just from making their submission to the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and that's on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the audit of the accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And just now we stand by for Mumbwa Town Council, which will be making a reappearance before the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Keep watching Parliament Television, the only station that brings Parliament closer to you.
International Women's Day is celebrated across the world. It is a day that recognizes achievements of females and a call to action encouraging everyone to stand out for women's rights and gender equality. The theme for this year's International Women's Day is For All Women and Girls, Rights, Equality, Empowerment. It highlights the need to include women and girls in everything. Further, it requires that action is taken immediately to break down the hindrances that affect women and girls from progressing. The National Assembly of Zambia, through the Gender Subcommittee, joined the rest of the world in commemorating the special day by joining many other institutions in a march past from Goma Lakes at the University of Zambia to the Showgrounds Arena in Lusaka, where Her Honor the Vice President, Mrs. W.K. Mtale Nalumango MP, graced the celebration.
And they are saying for all women and girls, rights, equality, and empowerment, and gender division, and humanity. Simply followed by the office of the President. Looking good, people, looking good. Thank you for all.
In her keynote address, the Vice President, who was the guest of honor, gave a clear picture of the Zambia the government envisions.
The Zambia we envision is one where every girl has access to quality education. A Zambia where women actively participate in decision making. A Zambia where all individuals, regardless of gender, can enjoy their rights and pursue opportunities freely and equally.
And in appreciating the theme for this year, she said that no woman or girl should be left behind, adding that it underscores Zambia's dedication to ensuring that no woman or girl is left behind in the national development agenda.
This underscores Zambia's dedication to ensuring that no woman or girl is left behind in our national development agenda. It highlights the immense resilience, invaluable contributions, and the untapped potential of women across all sectors, while acknowledging the systematic barriers that must be addressed in our pursuit of true gender equality.
The Vice President added that the UPND government attaches great importance to the welfare of women and girls. And in making us understand the commitment of protecting their well-being, she said that, as set out in the 8th National Development Plan, the government has key initiatives to achieve its aspirations.
Revised national gender policy. This has integrated gender equality across various facets of Zambian society, designated to tackle gender disparities and promote equal opportunities. The policy reflects the complexity of gender issues and the necessity for coordinated response, with a specific focus on addressing the needs of women and girls. Significant strides have been made in reducing the gender gap in education, ensuring all girls have access to quality schooling. We remain steadfast in our commitment to ending child marriage, promoting girls' education, and addressing early child pregnancies or just early pregnancies, healthcare infrastructure, investments in maternal and child health, reproductive health, and healthcare services have led to improvements in the well-being of women and girls. We are also addressing gender-based violence by strengthening legal framework and providing support services for survivors. Empowerment programs. We are scaling up support for women, youth, and marginalized communities. Our efforts focus on promoting women's participation in the workforce and leadership positions, supporting women entrepreneurs, and fostering financial inclusion to dismantle barriers barriers to economic independence.
The GWO project is also among the initiatives that support secondary education and economic empowerment for women and disadvantaged girls. However, despite the efforts made to empower women and girls, there is still so much that needs to be done, and the Vice President pointed out why the theme is so crucial.
Women and girls often face fewer employment opportunities and limited access to empowerment programs. This is why the theme for this year's International Women's Day is so crucial for all women and girls. Rights, equality, empowerment is therefore a call to action. It reminds us that the journey towards gender equality is ongoing, and there is much more work to be done. The time for action, women, is now. The time for action is now.
In driving change in women and girls, Zanaco Chief Executive Officer Ms. Mukwandi Chivesakunda said that the bank has contributed to the many efforts that are being made, and further commended the government for its commitment to address gender inequality as seen in the National Gender Policy of 2023.
As Zanaco, we're proud to contribute to these efforts through the empowerment of women entrepreneurs. Our New West Banking proposition, which focuses